Hello again, this is the Sports Betting Whale on Friday, March 24th, 2017. Thank you for joining me again on the YouTube channel. Please visit us at thewhalepicks.com to see some tremendous information about my successful history in sports betting, taking small amounts of money and ending up winning tickets for, as you'll see, is $560,000 on one ticket. That was a lot of fun back in the days at the Mirage when they were taking that kind of action on round robins. I don't know that anyone does in Nevada anymore, possibly somewhere else, but Nevada has limited that potential, especially for me. So I'm glad to share the information with you on how you can take a small amount of money, get hot using the pattern recognition systems that I'm utilizing on my behalf and yours, and take a small amount, risking small amounts to win large amounts. You'll see it firsthand. We'll do it together. You're seeing the proof with me. The tickets are on the screen now. From yesterday, I was plus 18 units, and then today I went ahead and put some of that back into play on some round robins I'll give you at the end of the video. In addition, the winnings last night allowed me to take some friends out to one of the top-rated steakhouses in the world. You'll see the receipts for that on the video as well. It's fun when you're able to do things like that, buy gifts for people, buy things for yourself, go out to expensive dinners, and you've done so off the winnings from the casino. It almost seems for me, it seems way different than when you're spending the money that you've made, at your job or your career. As you see on the screen, here's the receipt for the dinner last night, one of the top 5 steakhouses in the world. First time I've been there. It was an incredible experience. Was able to take care of this, the tips, the drinks, $1,000 worth of festivities for the night, all courtesy and the winning night at the sportsbook, and certainly a lot more fun than using your hard-earned money at work for a dinner like that. So this is the fun of winning in sports, is you can save it, spend it, give it away, go to big dinners, go on vacations, go on cruises, do things with it that you normally can't afford, because this is, in a sense, it's like extra money. It's an extra income for you, and we're starting small, but we're going to end up way ahead. I'm sure of it. It happens every time, and it's going to be so much fun to be sharing this with you. To me, we're all one team, and we're going to be winning together here big, and I look forward to all of you sharing with me what you've done with the money and the fun you've had with it. So it's always fun to be able to do that. You will all be able to experience a lot of that yourself here soon, especially going into baseball season. Some questions we had today. If we get a different line than you do we still accelerate accordingly? For example, if you get a bad line on a game and you lose, but I get a good line on the game and win on the round robin, then should I accelerate the next day? Absolutely. And for the most part, hopefully you guys have been getting better lines than me. The one place that's giving me a decent amount to play right now has, I guess maybe it's just bad luck, but a lot of the numbers I'm getting are different than what I'm seeing on the internet. And obvious question is, why don't I go to the other places and get different lines? They just won't take much on my round robins. Some don't even want them at all. So I'm kind of stuck, but you aren't. You can shop around if you have the availability, and you can get the best price. You can also buy a point or two or do whatever you need to do if that is so available to you. The key is, if you do win on the round robins, even if I lost, go ahead and accelerate. But if you didn't win, even if I won, if it's in a reverse situation, then do not accelerate. Yesterday there was an example where, for the first time in a while, the number I got may have been better than what some of you did. That was the Gonzaga game. I ended up, as you see on the tickets, I got them at -2.5. They won by 3. The number bounced around between 2.5, 3, 3.5, back to 2.5, etc. Hopefully, a lot of you got either 2.5 or 3. We certainly had a horrible bad beat not winning the first half on Gonzaga. That was winning the whole way, and Game ended up tied at halftime. We were laying 1.5. That was a little disheartening. But hopefully many of you got a favorable number on the Gonzaga game. Myself, I was up 18 units yesterday. Everyone won because we had the clear winner on the NBA for the game. So yesterday, everybody won on for the full games. We had the under on Miami came in by 15 points. We had Portland that won by 15. They were up by 20 something at halftime, and then we had Dallas Mavericks getting 5 points that won straight up. On the halftimes, we certainly should have hit that roundy as well. The under in the Miami game went way under for the first half. We had Portland up by 20 or 21 at halftime, laying 7.5. That was way double-digit easy winner for both the under and for Portland. And if any of you watched the Dallas game in the first half, oh my goodness. I actually stopped watching it for a little while and went to the college games because Dallas was up by 10 or 12 points in the second quarter, and we were getting points at the first half. Went back and looked, and it was quite the amazing hot run that the Clippers had there towards the end of the first half, and we barely didn't cover the first half. And then, as you saw, Dallas came right back and jumped ahead and pretty much stayed ahead the entire second half to win the game. For the halftime bettors, we did release Dallas for the second half, and that came in very, very easily for everybody. But you can see, again, how quick this round-robin system accelerates and allows all of us to win a lot of units very, very rapidly. Had Dallas come in, which it certainly in all accounts should have, we would have gone 6 out of 6 on the same games. We'd have had the under for the first half, the under for the game, easy winner. Portland for the first half, Portland for the game, easy winner. Dallas first half, Dallas for the game, easy winner, easy winner. And that's the fun about this. You can take 3 games and turn it into that would have been 6 winning parlays plus the all on the 3-teamers, which would have made it a total of 8. So just off one 3-game combination with the basic unit plays of 2 units away, everyone would have won 55 units if Dallas would have just held on at the end of the first half. We had a very similar occurrence with the college. Kansas won easily first half and game. Gonzaga, for me, won the game, should have won the first half, and then Arizona was up 8 points late in the second half, but didn't hold on, and Arizona was up strong in the first half as well. So very, very close to being a 12 out of 12 night for us. It looked like at one point that's where we were headed, and we will have plenty of those type of days where we hit everything on the board. Again, I call it racking the board. Next question was, when do you usually get hot in a season? Is there a time of the year when you're unusually hotter than other times of the year? Do you usually pick better at the start of a season or the end of the season? Trying without boasting, under the circumstances, you haven't seen what's typical for me yet. You've seen spurts of it, but you haven't seen the consistency of it. I consistently win. Beginning of the season, the middle of the season, the end of the season, because I'm so aware of the different trends at different times of the year. I'm very aware of what happens, and like in baseball, I usually get out of the gate real strong, and then I develop the revenge trends and the bounce trends and the streak trends and everything else that's happening in the middle of the season. Towards the end of the season, you see tremendous streaks and separation as the teams that are fighting for the playoff positions keep all of their major leaguer starters on board, and the teams that are out will pull up the players from the minor leagues and let them play, and you end up with some really lopsided games because of those factors towards the end of the year. Every single team in baseball gets hot, and every single team gets cold, every single team gets choppy. And what we're looking for what's the current trend of each team, and if they fit a pattern that is a winning percentage for us, and then we look at the pitching to see how that impacts it, then we basically come up with what we think the score is going to be in each game. And when I'm hot, I'm almost very close at predicting the actual scores of the games that occur based on what we determine the score will be. That tells us what side we want, whether we want it run line plus or minus, or whether we want to take the total, whether we want the first 5 innings, etc. So it's a lot of fun. A lot of analysis goes into the sports handicapping, and also a tremendous amount of instincts with just the fact that I've been doing this for so long. There's like this inner instinct that tells me whether or not I'm on the right side or not. So I have to follow both approaches, and definitely never ignore that inner instinct, because it tends to be always guiding me in the right direction. If I try to over intellectualize things, then I don't do as well. When I get into the flow, where both the logical thought process and the inner instincts of seeing this many situations and patterns, and like subconsciously knowing what's going to happen, when they're in sync, boom, watch out, here we go. So answering your question, I would say that definitely the best season for me is baseball, but within the baseball season, last times I've bet in April strongly, I've won a lot in April. So I'm expecting us to get off to a great start going into this baseball season. It'll be a lot of fun. And we won yesterday, and we look to keep winning in the basketball in the meantime, so that we can all get ahead on the recent basketball activity. Today, I'm taking four combinations in the NBA, not taking the college games. There's 4 college games today. I've gone through them. I've looked at what I think the score outcomes are going to be, and compared it to the spreads and compared it to the totals. And I don't see any significant advantage on any of the games. They're going to be fun to watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't end up coming right down to the number and right down to the total. So if there's no advantage, there's no point in taking them. The first group today is the 2s and 3s. We're going to go ahead and go, for those of you who won, here's the tickets I took. You see, I accelerated from $2,000 a ticket to $3,000 a ticket. So I'm going to recommend you do the same thing. Go from 2 units a ticket, a parlay, to 3. So you're going to go a total of 12 on these. Okay? First one is 851 Brooklyn, 851 under on Brooklyn, and 855 Cleveland. 851 Brooklyn, again, when you get the email, that's the official line. Just for reference right now, they're plus 12. The under on Brooklyn is 224.5, and Cleveland is currently -3. But again, you'll go off the scores and odds number at the time that you receive the email. Stop. All right, so with analysis of this game, why are we taking Brooklyn? Why are we taking under? Why are we taking Cleveland? Brooklyn is known as an over team earlier in the year. They're also one of the worst teams in basketball. I think we all are aware of that. They have the worst record going. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. It seems like the pressure's off them, and they're just playing looser. They're enjoying themselves more in the game. They're playing at a much higher level. And so there's an advantage to taking them right now, because their current trend isn't reflected properly in the spread on this game. Washington's been struggling. They really are in a down channel and are not playing in sync at all. Both teams have been starting pretty significant under trends, which here's where we have a big advantage. The odds makers are still looking at what the yearly trends have been and the typical trends have been for Brooklyn and Washington. They would have played earlier in the year 224.5. I'd probably be telling you to take the over. But what's going on right now, end of the season, teams are getting tired. If you noticed yesterday, every game went under in the NBA. Wish I would have taken an under roundy yesterday. We did have the under on Miami, won easily. Today we are taking an under roundy. But here, I expect Washington to continue to struggle. They'll probably win the game. Most likely they will, but I don't think that they're going to cover 12. and I don't think that they're going to get over the 224.5. So I think it's a correlation play to take Brooklyn plus 12 in the under, and it's got probably a 75% more probability than the opposite of Washington covering and going over. So that's why we're doing that. We have Cleveland -3. Cleveland's finally healthy. They haven't been covering at the normal rate, but that's because they've been resting players, and Irving's been out, and there's been a lot of key injuries that have made it where the coaching staff has decided not to go full bore with the starters because of the fact that it's putting too much pressure on the remaining starters when the other starters are out. But right now, they are fighting for number 1 seed with Boston. They're only 1 game ahead, so it's an important game for them, so they're motivated. Clearly, Cleveland's way better than Charlotte, and we're only laying 3 points against a team that is mediocre. We have a healthy team that's off a bad performance at Denver. They are very disappointed in how they played. The coach and the players are talking about it, and I love when I see that. I love when the players get together and admit that they didn't put in the energy level that they should, and after a rest, they'll be more dedicated this time. I expect Cleveland to jump out, be releasing Cleveland first half as a straight-up play as well. Next group. 854 Indiana -1.5, 862 Milwaukee -6, 867 Minnesota -6.5. The Pacers have been really tough at home. Talking about a Jekyll and Hyde, they are horrible on the road, incredibly good at home. They just went and lost on the road. They're at home. Expect them to perform at a very high level. Denver's off the Cleveland wind. Again, Denver's plays a lot better typically at home, and going to the road off a very impressive win with Cleveland. I don't see them having the energy level that Indiana will in this situation. So energy level, enthusiasm, motivation favors the Pacers. Pacers are better at home than Denver is on the road. Therefore, Indiana laying 1.5 to me is quite a bargain. A lot of money on Denver right now, which that's just driven it down from 4 to 1.5, which is very good for us. We have Milwaukee -6. Paul Millsap is out for the Atlanta Hawks, and they do not do well. I think they've only covered once when he's been injured this year. He's a major factor in their performance, and with him out, and as tough as the Bucks have been at home and the way they're playing right now, I think 6 is way too low of a number, so we're taking Milwaukee -6. Minnesota -6.5. The Lakers, do I need to say anymore? They're completely non-competitive right now. A lot of talk about how they're just positioning themselves for a better draft pick, but whatever the explanation is, there's no bounce in them right now. It's the old dead cat bounce. Nothing's bouncing up. Doesn't matter how bad they lose even worse the next time they play. Now, I'm watching it. If they start to show some life, then I just won't uniformly go against them. But right now, Minnesota's fighting. They're very motivated, and they need to win, desperately need to win, and the Lakers couldn't care less. So let's take the more motivated team, the hotter team, the better team, -6.5. Next one, 870 Golden State, -17.5, 866 Bulls, -6.5, 857 Pistons, -4. Golden State against Sacramento. Here you go. I mean, definitely hot versus cold. Golden State right now is literally on fire, and Sacramento is horrible. 17.5 is probably scares a lot of people away, but when Golden State cares and they put up an effort, that's not a big number for them. They cover that number quite easily. So I expect them to jump out and blow them out. They want to go into the playoffs with a lot of momentum. They've got a lot of team chemistry right now, and certainly the opposite is true of Sacramento. After Sacramento made the big trade, they ended up with basically trying to position themselves like the Lakers and Phoenix for the best draft picks they can. I don't think they're motivated to win it at all. Bulls -6.5. Bulls are fighting for the playoffs, and they're really turning it around now. Finally healthy, playing well, covering easily. We'll continue to ride that trend until it changes. Pistons -4. situation where Pistons are off a bad loss, and they're playing better in my opinion right now. I expect them to, with the fact that they're fighting for the playoffs, I expect them to show a lot of energy in this game and easily cover the number 4. Like I said before, yesterday every game went under. There's been a lot of unders lately. Some days it bounces and they're mainly overs, but for the most part, this time of the year it's been under. And it makes a lot of sense because teams are tired. A lot of teams only have 7 or 8 games left for the whole season. It's been a long season. Tremendous amount of back-to-back games. They're changing that next year in the schedule. So this year we definitely want to look at the unders going into the end of the season. We take 857 under on Pistons, 206.5, 861 under on the Hawks, 201.5, 865 under on the 76ers at 210. These teams have been trending under, and overall everyone's trending under, so it's definitely a great round robin play. And the beautiful thing about round robins is let's say that tonight bounces in overnight. Okay, well, we lost one round robin, basically one combination bet, where if we took them all straight up and it was an overnight, that would hurt a lot more. And on the opposite side, if we're right and it turns out to be an undernight, the reward back on this, you're taking 3 units apiece times 4 for 12. That's going to be about a plus 37 or 38 unit day, just if these 3 games come under. So there's a very good chance they will, and I am personally taking it myself, as you see on the screen. So that's it for today. Thank you for your time and attention. Let's have another winning day, and let's win big this time. Thanks. Going forward, I'll continue to release all of my daily picks to you for free if you text me or subscribe to my mailing list. So make sure to text me or subscribe to my free mailing list so I can continue sending you all of my picks every day. I've made tens of millions of dollars betting on sports over the years, and now I'm finally breaking my secret so that you too can share in my success. All you have to do is either click on the link in the description of this video or send me a text message to my phone number at 702-462-1135. If you're texting me from outside the United States, add the +1, so it's +1 702-462-1135. I will begin texting and emailing you with all of my daily picks whenever they come up. Remember, subscribing to my mailing list is 100% free, no strings attached. And every day that you're not a subscriber to my free mailing list is another day that you may have missed out on one of my devastating winning runs. So be sure to click on the link in the description of this video or send me a text at 702-462-1135, or if you're outside of the United States, +1 702-462-1135 to join my mailing list today, 100% free. And you'll be the first to know when I release my killer picks every single day. Again, 100% free.